Page 281, Chapter 9. Make a declaration of a solemn release from any attachment or obligation towards gods and tin gods, and their servants of gods and servants of tin gods, to whom you have made promises, and in whom you believe. Free yourselves from all beliefs or assumptions of your godlinesses or religions, and sub-godlinesses or sects/cults, and learn the knowledge about the truth of the laws and recommendations of the fertilization of all life or creation, so that you become knowing ones of the truth, following the true laws and recommendations of the life, so that you do not ruin anything that has been given to you through the appearance or nature, and through anything else of the fertilization of the life or creation. Do not continue to spend your existence or life in submissiveness and servitude or bondage to gods and tin gods, and to servants of gods and servants of tin gods, because submission casts you down into an abasement of yourselves, into subservience and denial of yourselves, or self-denial, so that you are unfree and chained and cannot live according to your own determination or will, because you are bound by amenableness or obedience/servility. Be unattached or free from all gods, tin gods, servants of gods, and servants of tin gods. Regret your belief or assumptions in them, and turn yourselves away from them, so that you become strong and can no longer ruin anything that is given to you in the extent or entirety through the fertilization of the life or creation, such as true love and freedom, peace and consonance or harmony in yourselves. Make yourselves unattached or free from gods, tin gods, servants of gods, and servants of tin gods, because it is through their belief or assumptions, which they have forced on you, that they can cause you pain in your thoughts and feelings. So in them you fall prey to uncertainty, as well as anguish and fear, wherein you persist because they threaten you with punishment and judgment of the gods and tin gods. Also, do not make any exception for those servants of gods and servants of tin gods, as well as those godlinesses or religions and sub-godlinesses or sects/cults, with whom you have entered into an agreement or credo, because they are in their entirety connected to the lie against the truth, and they slander or calumniate the fertilization of the life or creation, by praying and supplicating to gods and tin gods, which are, however, nothing more than hazy pictures or fantasies of people of your kind or human beings, who have fallen into confusion in their inner world or consciousness. Do not heed the agreement or credo entered into, because it is without value and is based on confused directives or regulations of godly or religious, belief-oriented zealots or fanatics. But consider that even the servants of gods and servants of tin gods are people of your kind or human beings, and therefore also they are not safe or protected from erroneous assumption and confusion. Therefore they pray to gods and tin gods, and spend their existence or life in belief or assumptions in them. And because they are also people of your kind or human beings, treat them as such, and do not persecute, seize, or kill or murder them. Rather, be kind-hearted to them, and instruct or teach them the truth wherever you meet them. Therefore, do not wait in ambush for them, and do not establish any ambuscade against them. Rather, instruct or teach them rightfully and in love, so that they may recognize or see their unknowledgeness of the truth and repent, so they turn to the real truth of the fertilization of the life or creation and its laws and recommendations, and become free for the way to the truthly truth. And if a servant of gods or servant of tin gods searches for protection amongst you, then grant him or her commensurate protection, and, if he or she is willing, instruct or teach him or her in the teaching of the truth, the teaching of the Spirit, the teaching of the life, and grant him or her protection and provision or nourishment until he or she can once again safely continue on his or her way and reach the places of his or her safety or homestead, etc., without danger. And consider, there can never be an agreement or arrangement between yourselves and the gods and tin gods, because they are only hazy pictures or fantasies, and without power, without knowledge, without love, and without wisdom, and therefore, for the same reasons, there can also be no agreement or arrangement between gods, tin gods, and servants of gods and servants of tin gods. And thus, if the servants of gods and servants of tin gods nevertheless claim that they have an agreement or arrangement, then they are shameful or disgraceful liars, and knowing or conscious manipulators or cheaters, miserable ones or rascals, and Hanakin or riffraff. And even if the servants of gods and servants of tin gods prevail over you through agreements or credos, then there is nevertheless no bond or connection between them and you, neither any blood relationship, nor do they heed any agreement made with you, or any connection of belief, because they believe themselves to be superior to you. Truly, they think they are more than you, and therefore they only say pleasing things to you with their mouths, whereas their attitude or mentality refuses to set themselves equal with you, because truly most of them are full of malice. The servants of gods and servants of tin gods sell you for a miserable price, in order to multiply their riches through you, and to lead you into the erroneous assumption of belief, or assumptions, false signs, or evidence / testimonies / avowals / confessions, and of the godly or religious belief or assumptions, and of the fabulated or invented gods and tin gods, so that you turn away from the way of the truth, and so they can repugnantly enslave you or make you in thrall to them. Truly, they do not heed any bond or connection of belief with you, and therefore they do not keep or maintain any faithfulness in a bond, because they only heed their own false belief or assumptions, and are true misdoers against you, because they lead you into evil erroneous assumption through false teachings. They practice their submissive service to gods and tin gods, and lie that they are your brothers and sisters, and they give you false signs or evidence, testimonies, avowals, confessions, of their belief or assumptions, so that you assume or believe that they are signs or evidence of the truth, whilst everything is mere lies, slanders or calumnies, and cheating. And if you ask them about their agreement or credo, and about their oath, and you approach their belief or assumptions in an objective or neutral wise, then they assume themselves attacked or accused, and fight or battle against you, as self-appointed leaders and representation of their belief or assumption, and of their gods and tin gods, and accuse or blame you of unbelief, because truly they have no respect or venerability towards you, because you do not stray from the truth. And many amongst them violate their rights and offend against the laws and recommendations of the primal power, or creation, because they secretly commit an offense in libidity, or sexually, on children, and on man and woman. And it is the servants of gods and servants of tin gods who are in dispute against the truliness of the teaching of the truth, the teaching of the Spirit, the teaching of the life, and want to drive those away from it who live in constancy or unity / coalescence with it But do not be afraid of them, because they do not have any might over you, if you do not give it to them. Because consider that if you are ones who are knowing of the truth, then you stand above all fear with your dignity. However, do not fight against the servants of gods and servants of tin gods through strife or through punishment from your own hand. Rather, let them be lost in their belief or assumptions, in their submissiveness to their gods and tin gods, because they must find the truth themselves. And it is only when they turn to the truth, and they achieve victory over their false belief, that you can teach them and help them onto the way of the truth, so that they may bring themselves healing or cognition from their unknowledge of the truth, and become ones who are knowing of the truth. If rage rises up in you against the servants of gods and servants of tin gods, then banish or drive out the rage in you, and choose forgiveness in yourselves, so that you do rightfully, and are attached to or follow the laws and recommendations of the fertilization of the life or creation. Never assume that you have been abandoned by the laws and recommendations of the primal power or creation, because you do not recognize them or do not understand them, because if you turn yourselves to them and do not conduct strife against them, or do not set yourselves against them, then they will become trusted friends to you if you become knowing or conscious of them, and you know what you are doing. The servants of gods and servants of tin gods are, however, unable to recognize or see the laws and recommendations of the fertilization of the life or creation in their submissiveness, because they testify against it or creation through their belief or assumptions in their gods and tin gods, and truly the deeds of the servants of gods and servants of tin gods are in vain, so they burn in the fire of their false belief or assumptions, and cannot liberate themselves from it. Those amongst you who are connected to the teaching of the truth, the teaching of the Spirit, the teaching of the life, you shall be an ideal to all in following and fulfilling the laws and recommendations of the primal power or creation, so that you are a sign or evidence to the ones who are unknowing of the truth, that they do not have to be afraid of the truth if they find the right way. As people of your kind, or human beings, you are all the same. You have the same rights and conscientiousness or duties. Therefore, the one is no more than another, and all people of your kind, or human beings, are integrated into the unfolding or evolution of your inner world or consciousness. So you are also integrated into fallibilities or errors that you commit and learn from them, in order to give enough consideration to the unfolding or evolution. Do not assume that you can spread the truth teaching of the true laws and recommendations of the fertilization of the life or creation, as is presented through the true prophets, by means of battles or wars, or in any other wise through Gewalt or terror and coercion, because truly you only take the highest level in this, and make a gain or success if you fulfill your deeds of teaching in accordance with the laws and recommendations of the primal power or creation. And so you act out of love alone, and heed freedom and peace, as well as consonance or harmony. Spread the joyful message of the teaching of the truth, the teaching of the Spirit, the teaching of the life, in a peaceful wise amongst all those who open their ears to it and want to learn. Never attempt to draw attention to the truth teaching with Gewalt or terror, just as you shall also not represent the teaching with the sword or with other weapons of the dangerousness and killing, but rather only in true love and equitableness or fairness, in peace and freedom, so that a consonance or harmony is given, and that delight and permanent happiness may arise. The teaching of the truth, the teaching of the Spirit, the teaching of the life, shall never be passed on or spread outrageously, or using Gewalt, nor through lying, and nor through slander or calumny, because as a teaching from the laws and recommendations of the primal power, or creation, it is a teaching of the love, peace, freedom, and consonance or harmony, from which neither outrage, or act of Gewalt, bloody deed or murder, persecution, battle or war, nor strife can be allowed to emanate, but only permanent well-protectedness and all values of goodness. Truly, living in well-protectedness, in the love of the fertilization of the life, or creation, is the highest good that can accrue to people of your kind, or human beings, and in which you can dwell or live forever as a magnificent reward, if you are only fruitful or bearing of your true discernment or rationality, and you recognize and follow the laws and recommendations of the primal power or creation through your insight or intellect. If you are undisguised or sincere and strong in the knowledge about the truth, then it is also possible for you to keep your sisters, brothers, and your father and your mother without blemish or without virtuelessness, in honor and dignity, even if they prefer a belief or assumptions in gods or tin gods to the teaching of the truth, the teaching of the Spirit, the teaching of the life, because they are the ones who are unknowing of the truth. Therefore, you are not unfair ones or irresponsible ones, if you have them as friends, and love and honor and appreciate them, because they belong to your blood. Therefore, you are not unfair ones or irresponsible ones, either, if you have acquaintances and friends, man and woman, and they prefer a belief or assumptions in gods and tin gods. But you are, however, undisguised or sincere and strong in the knowledge about the truth, so that you do not become inconstant in it. And if your father and your mother, your brothers, your sisters, your wife or husband, or your clan or relations, or people of your kind or fellow human beings, have fallen prey to gods and tin gods, then you shall not make them your enemies because of this. Rather, esteem or honor and value them highly, because regardless of how you look at it, they are people of your kind, or human beings, who are due or entitled to honor and dignity, which you shall show them. And if they prize their riches, and their commerce, and their dwellings more highly, or more valuefully, than the truth about the fertilization of the life, or creation, and the recognition and fulfillment of the laws and recommendations of itself and its appearance or nature, then love and honor and appreciate them nevertheless, as people of your kind, or human beings, because they have proceeded from the primal or creative unchangeabilities or principles as you have. So you are one and the same kind, without difference, with the same rights and obligations or duties, with regard to the fulfillment of your existence or life, and the unfolding or evolution of your inner world or consciousness. Truly, if you wage battles or wars, then there is no god and no tin gods who lead you on the battlefield, or field of war, because they are only hazy pictures or fantasies of godly or religious zealots or fanatics, who want to make you proud of them. Everything godly or religious observances is useless, because fabulated or invented forms, such as godheads and tin gods, possess neither power nor ability to effect anything. Therefore, if you wage battles or wars, then they can neither help you to victory nor to flight. Truly, it is decided or determined, through the laws and recommendations of the fertilization of the life or creation, that peace and love, as well as freedom and consonance or harmony, shall rule amongst people of your kind, or human beings. Therefore you shall follow them in order to receive a good reward. Therefore, it is also recommended to you that you also turn to those people of your kind, or fellow human beings, in good will or respect, who are unknowing in the truth, and need your instruction and help. Consider, however, that the servants of gods and servants of tin gods, who are unclean, or without knowledge, in the knowledge of the truth, do everything to keep their believers in their gods and tin gods away from the truthly truth of the reality of the fertilization of the life or creation, and the laws and recommendations of itself and of its appearance or nature. Therefore, they attempt to ensure that those who are looking for the real truth of the fertilization of the life or creation cannot approach the truth, by besetting their believers with apprehensions or anxieties and fear of punishment from their gods and tin gods, if they leave the belief or assumptions in them, whilst promising them at the same time a liberation from punishment, as well as a fullness or abundance of love, blissful happiness, as well as richness in consciousness and well-being, if they stay with their belief or assumptions. Fight in yourselves against the enticements of the servants of gods and servants of tin gods, and against all those who have the audacity to slander or calumniate and call into question the truth of the fertilization of the life and the laws and recommendations of itself and of its appearance or nature, and be certain or knowing that their actions are illicit or forbidden, and heinous or villainous, for the sake of right and equitableness or fairness, because by doing so they lead people of your kind, or human beings, into shameful erroneous assumption, far from any cognition of the truthly truth of the laws and recommendations of the fertilization of the life or creation. They do not follow the real truth, and they will only do so when they have to pay tribute from their own inner world or consciousness for the acknowledging of the real truth, when they become knowing or conscious of it.